And we are live. Let me press the banner here for the people.
What's up?
What's up? And we are live on episode number 2, Real Talk with JT. And today I'm super excited today because I have someone really special. Someone who me personally look up to every single day when I open up my Instagram and I see him everywhere. So
Yeah.
the legend, the one and only Tre Serrano from San Antonio, an absolute stud. My brother, thank you so much for jumping on and giving us the time. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Hope I give great nuggets to whoever's listening.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to get tons of value. So, guys, you better get the pens ready on this one because we're going to be discussing some good hacks on how you can generate more listings actually off of your listing. And there's still shortage of inventory. So, this is going to be something super valuable. So, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. So,
Absolutely.
Trey, before we go into it, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get into the business? How long in the business?
For sure. Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity. So I grew up in New York City and the best city in the world. And when I grew up in New York City, I was a paramedic, moved to Texas. And while I was in Texas, I became a cop. So I did 9 years in the police department. And while I was a cop, I hired a realtor to sell a house. The realtor was horrible. I mean, out there listening, have you ever met a horrible realtor? Come on, let's be honest. Yes, you have.
Well, I
So,
met few. I met few just today.
so I met a horrible one, and I figured, I'm strapping on this vest, gun belt, going to gunfights potentially. This person could at least call me back, or at least give me the time of day to give me some information. Her name is Karen, and and anyway, so I had a horrible experience with an agent, and I thought, well, how can this be that difficult to sell a home, right? So I did what everybody else did. I had no intention of getting into real estate, but I figured, hey, that commission number looks good, so why not? So I got my real estate license while I was a cop, and then I was doing both. I said, you know what? I'll just help a couple of buddies buy a couple of houses. It's better than standing on a freaking traffic post and, whistling and say, hey, you can go. Well, that turned into, in my last 12 months on the police department, 55 closings in 12 months. I, at the time, had a assistant. I had no idea what I was doing. This is before coaching. And yeah, so I led with revenue, and I said, okay, I got to pick one because I was obviously very busy. Our kids were little, and my wife got her license. Fast forward, when I got my license to now, I've been in the business 5 years. 2022, we closed 121 transactions. Have a team, and here I am. Got you as a coach.
Pretty amazing, right? So, do you still wear the bulletproof vest? By the way.
No, I mean, at least I don't need warrants to go inside people's homes anymore.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And 55 closings. Wow, in your first year as a part-time agent. That's pretty
Well,
incredible. Like, how did you do it?
it was actually I mean, it's like 2.5 years into it, but it was that year. I think it was 2019. I said, okay, I think I got this down. I mean, it was just a lot of conversations. I didn't know how to measure metrics. I just know the more people I talk to, the more people I get in front of, and the more I can leverage, the more I will close. And at the time, I was just using my phone and just going to social functions, going to police stuff, and any like in anything that was going on, I was there, and I just had conversations. And people ask me always the same thing: how's the market? How's the buyers? How's this? Oh, I heard you're doing the real estate thing, and that turned into more business.
I love it, man. So it was just creating your own opportunities just by putting yourself out there and actually having those conversations with folks and discovering the ones which are ready to pull the trigger, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was for me, execution is very, very easy. I know
Hmm.
people listening to this, they overanalyze or they're just thinking too much about it and oh, but this person's already killing it, so why should I do it? I I'm the type of person that I run through the brick wall and then try to think, why did I just do that? So that's a good thing and a bad thing. So I think with so much execution, I made mistakes. So I'm here to share what not to do, but also what to do that is getting me more listings.
Yeah, I mean, besides selling, 120 plus homes a year, like who is Trey? Like, what do you do in your spare time? You must be working 24/7.
Absolutely not. So I have a wife, two kids, and we have some investment properties now, and we have personally, I was actually born in Chile in South America, so I had to wait in lines for immigration. I remember as a kid not being able, or when I was 18, I couldn't vote because I wasn't a U.S. citizen yet. And I mean, on my spare time, I spend it with the kids, CrossFit, and I do a lot of video.
I love that. And I didn't know, that's something interesting. I didn't know that about you, that you came from Chile. We could have been on the same boat, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe we hit on each other over there. But I think there's
hell yeah.
something special, right? Like when you have to earn your ranks, you're just more grateful for it, right? And I think sometimes it will let you see, some of the opportunities, which you really can like, take advantage of, right? So would you say that's where the hunger is coming from?
I mean, you nailed it, man. Like, my father, when I was a kid, cleaned toilets and got a city job with a green card. My mom cleaned New York City apartments, for cash because she didn't have papers. To in Section 8 housing, to now got a big old home, and I ain't got to worry about the dinner bill. So it does make me hungry, but it also, more than makes me hungry, it inspires me to give and give and give to agents, so they can be successful. Anybody who has seen my social media, has met me before, knows that I'm kind of the punch in the throat kind of agent with other agents, because I kind of cut the fluff and I tell you what works, and if you don't like the very direct information, then I don't know, maybe we should hang out.
Yeah. And look, you can't click with everybody, right? But I think, and Ian, on the last episode, what he talked about, it's just you being yourself and being authentic. That is really the best marketing you can really put out there, because you will automatically attract the people just like you. And because they like you, the business you're going to be generating is going to be that much more easier and also more joyful at the same time.
Absolutely. So yeah, this is getting into, the more you're yourself, the more you attract people like you, and the more you market, you're marketing to the person you want to work with. So absolutely.
Yeah, I love the idea too. Great example. Thank you, Natalia. So,
Yeah.
hey, the stage is yours, Trey. Let's
Yeah.
make
So
sure we get more listings because there's still a shortage of inventory. So I'm super excited actually to hear what you got to say.
absolutely. So, you know, um, what we see in our market is we see agents that get listings, and then they post the listing and then they hope to get it sold. And I think that's a very wrong way of thinking, because your listings, and if you don't have listings, it's other people's listings that you can leverage to get more listings. If you want me to say that again, I can't, because that's a lot of words. So how do we do it? Right? When I first started, I didn't have listings to to leverage. So what I did was I used other people's listings, and I said, hey, do you mind if I market your listing? And how I did it was I just shot video in front of the house. This was obviously early, so people that did video in a house was like, oh man, this is so cool. This is a Facebook Live, and it got more attention. But today is very different. So I feel like for 2023, it's people aren't really impressed by a video walkthrough like they used to be. People aren't really impressed by nice pictures. So like now we have a process, and anybody that's watching this, I'll send it to you, JT, that you can send this out to anybody that's watching this.
Yeah, if you guys,
But it's my system.
if you guys want it, just put it in the chat. Give it to me. I want those pieces. We'll send it out.
For sure. Yeah, I have a whole little bullet point of exactly what I do.
Beautiful.
So anybody that wants it, hit up JT. Okay, so now whoever's watching this should have a process of how they do listings, but the goal is to leverage it every second of that listing to get more listings. So when a listing goes live, obviously the seller knows, right? So the seller should, first of all, share it with their sphere. And how we do that is a couple of steps of how we prepare the website to share. And you can even do this with other people's listings. If you have a CRM or Chime or something, is when you create a landing page, you have the seller share it. Or if the seller doesn't have it, then you have a landing page for whatever other agent's listing you're using, because it does give them credit on the landing page. So you're good there. And you share it on your social medias. And so when you share it on your social medias, obviously you're trying to create more interest. The other thing is creating videos around it. So let's talk about the video creation around a listing. So most people, they will have a listing and they'll do a listing video and that's it. I go a step further, and when I do a coming soon, I do a Facebook story and an IG story of say, hey, I got this property coming soon. Then I ask, hey, before this property goes live, do you think we should change anything? Now, this is important for engagement, because when you ask your audience, hey, do you think something should be changed? Your DMs are gonna blow up. They're gonna say, oh, I think you should paint the house. I think you should change this. I think you should move the couch. Like, everybody wants to be involved in the process. And it's incredible when you're humble enough to ask your audience to help you in your real estate business, they become a part of your real estate business. So I would have people, and obviously people is your sphere, your past clients, engage in your stories and say, what do you think about this? What do you think that, what would you pay for this house? And you could have either like a, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, whatever. So that is your engagement coming soon. So that's even before the listing goes live, or if it's somebody else's listing. I would start with the stories. That's going to create the engagement. And by creating the engagement and the conversation, the goal is to get people off the fence. You go from having a conversation about one listing to hopefully saying, you know what, I actually thought about selling my house. And then it turns to a substantial conversation. Then, go ahead, JT.
Now, if you can just interject, so, with sharing the listings, would you also share it on some like a Facebook groups or community pages, where you can get like a free eyeballs on the post as well, the landing page?
So when on the coming soon part of the listing, I would just do it with your audience, because it gives the viewers a sense of exclusivity. They're like, oh, Tre's asking me for my opinion about the price. Like, that's so cool, right? So if you do it to everybody, it may just water down the opinion, or it may even come off as like, oh, he's just trying to show off his new listing. I don't know. It could be wrong, right? Just what I do.
How about sending it like a snippet as an Insta message to your peeps as well, to get more interactions?
Yeah, yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, anything for the conversation, right? It's you want them involved in your business, and that's still we haven't even listed the
The
listing
property,
yet.
yes.
This is just a coming soon. So the other thing is if you have a CRM and you have a few pictures of the listing, you can email it to your past clients and database and just say, hey, I have 123 Main Street coming on the market. It's going live tomorrow. This is what we project the price. What do you think? Or you can say, if you know anybody looking in this part of town, in this price range, let me know. You just like that's it. That's as many words as you use is I have this listing coming up. This is the price. This is the area. Don't say the street. Don't say anything else. If you know anybody that's looking, let me know.
And how about even
What?
saying, I wanted to send you this trade before it even hits the market, just to give you the opportunity in case if you know someone, it's not on the market yet, just to make it a little bit more exclusive to the people as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, and absolutely, you can do that too. So it's basically touching your sphere, saying like, hey, I want you involved. I want to give you first dibs. If you know anybody, it's kind of asking for business, but it's not because you're not saying, you know, like I need you
Do you
to
know
share this on
someone?
your
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. It's just like, hey, if you happen to know someone, great. This is what's coming up, and that's it. That's like it's like insider information without having a call to action,
Hmm.
which is nice. So that's pretty much the pre-listing. So that's before it hits the market, you're creating engagement. And the other thing that you can do for a coming soon is when you go to the neighbor's house and you say like, hey, we're having an open house and this is coming on the market. So we personally do that for the open house and not the listing coming soon because it's just way too many things to do before the coming soon because our MLS rules say that if once you advertise your listing that's coming soon, it has to hit the market within 24 hours. So what you could do is you can drop mailers off to, hey, coming soon to the market tomorrow, and slip it under their door in the whole neighborhood with obviously your information. So
So, by the way,
after,
guys,
go
if
ahead.
you have any questions whatsoever, just drop it in the chat. Just, put it in the comments. And if you're not watching this live, still drop off the comments because we're going to be going back and giving the answers. Keep on going, Trey.
Yeah,
Love it.
cool. Awesome. Sorry, let me mute this call. Okay, so here we go. So now we're going into the listing is going live. So once you go live at the listing, that's when you're going to create your Facebook post. But in the Facebook post, don't put the link to your landing page. And I say that because when you post a link on Facebook and it has a URL to somewhere else, Facebook seems to suppress the post because Facebook doesn't want you to leave into some other website or platform. Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. So if you post it, say drop a comment if you want to know more, and maybe leave out the price. So then you'll have people say, "Hey, send me," and as then we get more comments, it'll drive the post algorithm up to hopefully get you some more engagement and more conversations. You do the same thing on IG. You post it on your feed or your stories, and then obviously create a reel for the listing video. A question I get a lot is, what should I do in the video? You know, listing videos are kind of funny because it's like if I have a distressed property, like how the hell am I going to do this, right? You can talk about the area, which I have done more of is, hey, this is the cool house, but it's a basic 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. Like we've seen this a million times. But what's cool about it is there's 26 restaurants within 5 minutes from here. Something cool about it, and then highlight the area more than the house. And that's going to create a little bit more interest
Do you
by
feel
the
like
listing.
also, if you highlight the area, Is it better for the algorithm as well?
Yes. So when you tag locations near it, and you hashtags don't really matter, but tag other locations around it in your stories, that should help drive the algorithm to more local eyes, because then the algorithm should see like, hey, this is a local post by somebody local, so we're going to keep it in the local community if anybody's talking about these things. So the listing video obviously should be a reel. Some people doing long form Facebook videos, but I just don't think they're worth the money and spending $500-600 when, maybe 500 people will see it.
Did you speak to Brett about it?
Yeah, I know he does it all the time, but that's just me. But you could.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I kind of agree with you. Unless the property, tour video, it's not like a multi-million-dollar home, or where it's really, creative, when it's kind of interactive and really engaging for you to
yep.
actually watch, right? Maybe a little funny too. That the way it works, it's gonna get boring really fast.
Right. Yeah. And when you have dragged out drone shots and stuff, like the way you consume content is the way most people are going to consume content. So if you don't sit there and watch, beautiful trees and aerial views, then nobody else is going to watch it, or at least they're going to cut it short. So it's going to hurt your view duration if you don't make it interesting right from the punch.
Now, let me
So,
ask you this, Trey, because I know you also
sure.
you play the game for the forever content, right? I know, you did a training about it the other day. Are you also playing the game for this content to be searchable, long time as well? That's why you're not putting the link and different things you're doing over here.
So the searchable stuff, and that's exactly what I was going to talk about next, is when you do the reel or the listing video, you want to make sure that you upload the URL to MLS.
Okay.
And if you go on Zillow, you have to manually do this. But if you go on Zillow and then you upload the link to Zillow, it takes about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, but they allow you to have a listing video on Zillow. So what we've seen in the past is neighbors and other people in the neighborhood, obviously everyone's window shopping, and they'll message us and say, hey, I saw your listing video. That's so awesome. I actually am having trouble selling my house, which is exactly what happens when you showcase a home over and over and over again in a very charismatic or a very purposeful marketing way. Is you'll have people reach out to you and say, hey, I want you to market my home that way. So yes, it's great exposure for your sellers, but what happens is when people are having issues in real estate, because can you imagine people having issues in real estate? Like it happens all the fucking time,
All day.
all day. So we've had people reach out to us and say, hey, my property's not selling, can I hire you? And it's a tough conversation, but I mean, it's getting you more listings.
Yeah, and I mean the question is like how important it's video marketing to consumers, and it's probably on top of mind because everybody today is online, right? And what they
Yep.
consume is videos.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's not, you know, like is video important? It's really what video is important. There's so much content you can create around a listing that gets you more listings. You can talk about the house, you can talk about the neighborhood, what's around it. You can talk about, amenities around it. And you can create a whole damn listing, YouTube video on the area and then highlight the listing. So whatever town you live in, say, hey, this is located on the north side. And before we talk about the house, let me tell you about, the big employers. You have, you know, whatever. You have the military, you have USA, you have, Costco, whatever. These are the major employers in these areas. These are the amenities. This is the shopping strip. Oh, and then this is the house. So there's so much content you can work around the listing that's not necessarily about the house. Because, I mean, let's get honest, a 4 bedroom, 2 bath, for 400,000, 300,000, whatever is not that interesting.
Yeah.
So
So I just want
let's,
to add something to it, with Don, coaching client of mine in Atlanta, actually. He's using something similar around the listings. Also, what he does, actually, he pulls a list of the neighbors, and he texts everybody a short video, right? Video about the house and about the market, with a link to landing page where he built it out like a marketing page. So it has all the market stats, it has the information about the listing, but it has a market stats as well. And he's really playing a long-term strategy where now these subdivisions, right, they're becoming almost like his silos, and he's always dropping the video content with them, retargeting them as well, to keep them engaged. So I don't think it's just about generating the business immediately, right? But there's also a bigger picture in terms of long term and setting yourself up for the future as well.
yes. And what's really powerful is if you do that, for us, we use RedX, and then RedX, you get their phone number. We text them the landing page to the neighborhood. Say, hey, just want to know if you wanted to pick your neighbor. This is the neighbor we're selling. We're also having an open house this weekend. We'd love to see you.
What did you say? If you want to pick your neighbor?
Yeah, if you want to pick your neighbor.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a non-salesy kind of just, genuine way to say, hey, like we have this house for sale. If you want to pick your neighbor, this is the listing. So instead of, hi, my name is Trey. I am a realtor. I have a listing for sale. And you're like, nobody cares about that. They want to say something like, hey, if you want to pick your neighbor, then come see the house. Okay, so aside from the video, the marketing, putting your video on everything, the other thing I highly, highly recommend is geotagging. So if you're not using Google My Business and geotagging your listings, you're insane.
Can you
But
tell us what
basically,
geotagging is for some of
sure.
the viewers? They probably don't know.
So when you have a Google Business profile, you can geotag the listing pictures. You can geotag the video as long as it's under 29 seconds. And when you geotag them, anybody that searches in the area, it just gives you a higher probability of getting your Google Business profile seen. So like realtor near me, best realtor near me, real estate agent, whatever it is they're looking, having a geotag footprint in that house will increase your chances of your profile going to the top of their search.
So once somebody is searching in that specific area.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And it just increases your Google footprint. So that's huge using a geotag. And you can geotag the listing pictures on Google Business. And some people put your logo, but some people, we've done both. And from now we just do the picture because the picture was posted by our Google Business profile. So we just do that.
Do you see a better response from Google if you posting it, or if you have like a third party like HomeSnap or different services they posted it for you?
No, they want you to post it.
Okay.
So, I don't recommend this, but our admin has our access to our
Yeah.
Google Business profile, and she posts it from my account. And then there's websites like Geo Imager that you can geotag multiple pictures at once, so you don't have to do it one at a time. Yeah, but that's been pretty huge. Just increases your footprint. So other thing we do, and this is I think is really, really good and really professional and really
Mhm.
cheap. So we take the landing page and then we create a domain. So if you go, let's say the listing is 123 Alamo Street, right? So if you go to 123 Alamo Street, you go to Google Domains, just Google Domains, then go to domains and then type in whatever the street address is for your listing. 123 Alamo Street, let's just say. You buy the domain, it's $12 a year. Very, very cheap. $12 to make your listing look better. Hell yeah. So you buy the domain and then you forward your landing page to 123alamostreet.com. Then you share it with your seller. And then you share it with the neighbors or any other platform that you have it. You have a nice, very clean 123alamostreet.com. You know, when you're speaking to the sellers, speaking with people open house, like, oh yeah, you just go to 123. You could even have the yard sign on 123alamostreet.com with flow code, which we didn't talk about, but flow code's another good one to have on your yard sign because you can move the QR code to other landing pages as you get other listings.
Now, Trey, let me ask you: would you get the domain name before even going on the listing appointment?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. You just buy the domain and say, hey, I already bought your streetaddress.com. You know,
or what
so
I need you
sign
to
here.
do, just sign the paperwork. That's it. We already started working on this. I love it.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Ooh, allergies are kicking my ass. If I sound weird, that's why.
Hey,
Okay.
you gotta go through it, man. Like you said, you go through the wall, you go through the allergies, man. I really appreciate you. You still on.
Of course. So let's see. Other things. So now that we've gone live, we've showcased it, we've done the social media boosts and landing pages, that's all done. Now it's time for marketing the open house. In the last 2 weeks, it's been very, very good for open houses. All our local Facebook groups for realtors, man, people are crushing it with the open houses. I guess just weather's getting warmer and people want to get out, whatever it is. And also rates, starting to come down. Open houses are huge for lead gen. So now this next couple listings we have, we're going to really, really double down on these open houses. So just a punch list of what to do. The very, very most important thing, invite the neighbors. So you can invite the neighbors to the regular open house, or you can invite the neighbors to an exclusive open house. Depending on, if it's a community with a lot of renters, then maybe not. Or if it's a high dollar one, maybe you want to put a really nice one together. But I would do a exclusive neighbors only viewing before the public open house. And that could be before, so if it's Saturday 12 to 3, have the neighbor preview 11 to 12, and then the public one 12 to 3. You can invite them by handing out flyers, door hangers, or you can use RedX to get their phone number to text them the invitation. But that's huge, inviting the neighbors.
Yeah, and I think, Trey, this is the key, right? Because we know, once one sign goes up on the block and it sells, within few months, another one will go up.
Yep.
So we definitely gotta speak to the neighbors to putting the foot in the door before they even thinking about selling.
Yep. Absolutely.
So I love that.
So, and the other big thing is when I mentioned about the coming soon, is if you're able to create a conversation with the neighbors, I would ask them for feedback and just say, hey, if they get to your open house, if they answer your text message, however you reach them, ask for, hey, what do you think about the price? What do you think about the home? Because what that's going to do, it's going to open them up. It's going to say, oh, I think it's overpriced. I think it's going to sell. I think it looks, whatever it is they say, the point is, it's creating more engagement for you. Say, thank you so much. I'm going to give this feedback to the sellers. I appreciate you. If you need anything, please let me know.
That's it.
So,
keep it short and sweet, right? You're not saying, by the way, we're selling the neighbor's house. Are you thinking of selling as well?
yes. Yeah, don't say that. Let's just see where the conversation goes. But it's huge. I think it's very underutilized because even myself, like I have no intention of selling in my neighborhood, but when a house pops up, I want to see it. I want to see what the neighbors have and all this stuff. So
And I think many
that's
times, Trey, I know that I'm certainly guilty of that as well. When I used to hold open houses, oh my god, here comes the neighbor, window shopping. They just looking at, they wasting my time. Like I don't want to talk to the people. Are you buying? Are you buying or what? Just
yeah,
looking around. Yet I think the neighbors, they future sellers, so we gotta pay attention to them as well, right? Because
yep,
holding open houses, it's not the real purpose of it. It's not necessarily to sell the house,
of course,
right? But it's to generate future business and future relationships. So I love it. Love the idea.
yep, exactly right. So the other thing is make sure you put the neighbors' information that reach out and hold on to that information. You have to make sure that you follow up with them every single step of the way. And I say that because that's going to help you with the follow up once it closes. That's going to be where you're going to do the left, right hook, where you're going to ask them for business in a very nice way. I'll get there. So, open house, it goes really well. Make sure you identify the neighbors and say, hey, do you mind if I just keep you updated with the progression of the house? Of course, they're going to say yes. They're going to say, hell yeah, I want to know what happens with this neighbor's house. And then obviously ask for feedback um, there. And then other stages, when the offer is accepted, reach back out to the neighbors and say, hey, we accepted an offer. If I'm not sure if you told anybody about the house, but I just want to give you that update. Did you have any other questions about the house? Or it just want to make sure that and nobody else that was interested, whatever you want to say, but it just keeps them in the loop. It's just another touch for the neighbors, and it's just another invitation for them to say something to you like, oh, awesome, well, actually, I've been thinking about, or I know this person wants to sell, or whatever it is. If they don't say anything, I don't ask their
So
business.
and again, it's not a salesy call, right? You're not leading with that. You're more just keeping them in the loop and giving
Mhm.
them the update. That's it.
Exactly.
Sweet.
So giving them, everybody that walked through the open house, the update of the offer accepted. um, Of course, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. All the updates of the post, the video, just under contract, offer accepted, whatever you want to say. But I think what's going to leverage you to get more listings is personally talking to the people that have DM'd you or that have done this, say, hey, the offer is accepted, is going to create more conversations. The other thing I forgot to mention is when your house goes live, so a lot of agents don't do this, but email your database and say, hey, this just went live. I know you asked for, hey, do you have any comments? But if you know anybody, let me know. And it's also, if you have any feedback just on the listing information, let me know. And you'll be surprised. They'll say, oh, this is a great price, or nah, it's overpriced. You'll have completely unbiased opinions. But then when they say it's overpriced, then you can ask, well, what would you price it and why? Right? Open-ended questions to get them to talk.
And I think you're right. I think many times people they will tell you more over email, right, than in over the phone or straight to your face. It's just sometimes it feels maybe awkward for them to tell you the truth, right?
Yeah. 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 It's just, I feel like people love to give their opinions, even though you're not really asking for it. But if you give them a platform to speak up on
Yeah.
how they feel and how they think, you're gonna get conversations, like guaranteed.
Yeah, and all of that. I mean, we know everybody wants to be heard, right? Nobody wants to
Yep.
be told, but everybody wants to be heard. So, and I love that. I know Trey, you mentioned emails, and I know everybody's going back to emails. And for
Mhm.
the past few years, everybody kind of signed off of emails. They were like emails they don't work anymore, but everybody's coming back to it. So, do you see like a good return, open rate, click through rate on emails as well?
So emails, it really depends on what you put in the email. I mean, like, if it's an email with a link and you just shoot it to your data and say, hey, we just went live with this. I really want to know your opinion on if you think it's priced right, or I want to know opinion on this house we just went live with. Asking for them for positive feedback to me is a great way to touch your database without being the whole salesy thing. And it's involving them in the process. So to answer that, basically it depends what you say on the email. It's like, hey, this restaurant opened up. These are where they got the best tacos, and the city is, passing a new ordinance. Like that is really good, and we get much more open rates as opposed to five hottest listings. Like nobody really cares.
So it's not just just sending it out, saying, "Hey, here's the hottest listing. This is the new listing we got." You sending it out, but you actually asking them feedbacks. So now you force sort of, forcing engagement, right? Because
Yes.
now they have something to send back to you, asking them specifically about something.
Yep.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah, we have like in Texas, tamales are really popular in the holidays. So we asked, what's the best tamale place in San Antonio? And we had like 50% open rate because people were like, oh, go to Rio's, go to this taco place, go to this tamale place. And it was crazy. It's like nobody cares, but it would just create the engagement. They answer back, less people that my email goes to spam, it's good.
Yeah, that's sweet. I love that. Yeah, I never had those tamales, but I certainly will when I come down to San Antonio to see you.
Yes, for sure. So, offer accepted. You have your flyers. Again, reach back out to the open house people, and put it on your IG stories. So, when you close, when you close, I mean, obviously the social media posts, but one thing that I would recommend is when you put your just closed post, don't just say, and please don't do this. Don't just say, just closed, who's next? Right? I know you've seen those posts. I
Another
know I've seen
one.
those.
Another one.
Just don't say those things. What I do is I tell a story, right? Tell a story of the seller. The seller wanted, I mean, obviously make sure that what you say is they're comfortable with. And, if they don't want their face, you just put the picture of the house, whatever it is you do. But tell a story where the seller, the house was too small for them. They wanted to upsize. They wanted to downsize. They wanted to move closer to their kids. And they were able to sell it with the price they wanted. And I'm super happy for them, or whatever it is. But make sure you tell a story, because what will happen is somebody will read that post and they'll say, oh, I wanted to downsize, or I wanted to move closer to my kids or closer to my mom or parents, whatever. And it just creates a sense of connection with you because you were able to fulfill their goal instead of who's next or just sold. Look how much I made.
And I
And
think,
it's
Trey,
telling the story.
and a lot of times agents, they always say, John, I really want to shoot some videos, but I don't know, what should I talk about? And I mean, there's just so many stories, in those transactions and in those relationships, right? While we working with people. And some of them are really, really interesting. And I think really valuable lessons for our people to learn as well. So just tell the story about the people. That's it.
Yep. It does so good, man. I have a I have a saying, I don't remember where I got it, but it's the Batman and Robin, right? Everybody loves Batman and Robin. Shirts, all the stuff, but who's the real hero? It's Alfred. Alfred is the one that gets Batman's stuff ready. He's the one that holds everything together. He's the one that coordinates the entire operation, but they celebrate Batman and Robin. So your clients are Batman and Robin, and you, the agent, are Alfred.
Alfred
You're,
died in the last Batman. You saw that?
oh, you just ruined the ending, bro. I'm quitting real estate. So yeah, it's the story is so important, and it's definitely going to get you some more listings when you're relatable and you solve the issue. Because people see realtors as, okay, they're out to get commission and all this, but if you solve a problem and you show on social media how you solved it, that's going to get you more listings.
Yeah, even a great idea, share a story a day on your social media, right?
Yep.
I think it keeps you human, and it gives a good outlook into your life or your professional life as well to your future potential customers.
Absolutely. The other tactic is when it closes, reach back out to everybody that's ever reached out during the process of the listing
Hmm.
and say, hey, did you want to know what it sold for? And or did you want to know the details of the sale? Most of them will say, yeah, I want to know. Then you tell them, and you tell them, hey, we sold for 350,000. You know, they paid this because it's all public information. And did you have any, or were you curious about your home? That's where you can. Everybody says it a different way, but ultimately, it's you've gone through the process this long. You built a little rapport. You asked them, say, hey, did you want to know the details? Yes, you give them the details, and then you ask for the business. That's where we, feel really comfortable, giving them so much value about the home and the areas, connecting them to our social medias, and then asking for the business. Most of them will say, no, I'm good right now. But they say, okay, great. Do you mind if we just keep in touch? And most of them will say, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's important to give them something of a value, right? Before even thinking about asking for the business, because if we haven't earned the right to ask for the business yet, it's gonna be very difficult to get the business from it. So I love
Yep.
that. So guys, if you have any questions, just drop in the comments because I have a rock star. For those of you joining in right now, Tre Serrano from San Antonio, talking about how we can get more listings of our listings and really leverage them and use them as a tool for a self promotion in a way, right? That's really what it is. Utilizing those listings as a beacons as well.
Yeah, storytelling is important. Just to kind of recap what we talked about,
Hmm.
storytelling, like you said, once it closes, storytelling about the why they're selling their home. This is all stuff that people wonder, but nobody really talks about. Getting your past clients and sphere involved in the pricing, involved in if they want to choose colors, should they change the countertops? That's all really good conversation starters.
And even getting our clients more on the video, and not only I think at the end when we close to get the review, but even during the
Yeah.
process, like if we had a win with them, get them on the camera, let them talk about it, because and we think that most customers, they don't want to be in a video because we don't want to be in a video, but everybody's on a video today, guys. Everybody's on
Yeah.
Instagram. So great
Yeah.
idea.
Depending on the client, we'll ask at the end, say, hey, do you mind if we just do a quick little video on your closing? And, um, and then most of the, I mean, obviously, if it's an older couple, they seem very private. We won't even ask.
Hmm.
But if it's a couple that would be comfortable, then we usually ask.
Proud as a Latina. Woo! All
You
right.
go, Natalia. How do you answer what's your commission?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. So on listing appointments, I say my commission is 3%, and let me say typically we'd like to pay the buying side brokerage 3%. And it's kind of a tricky way to answer that because I say, well, my commission is 3%, and then, or I say our team's commission is 3%, and then we hope that you would pay the buying side 3%. And it kind of takes the heat off you and say, well, we hope that you pay the buying side. And then they're like, well, why should I pay them 3%? And then the other said, well, because in the market, typically, any home they walk their families through, they offer 3% compensation for getting the buyer, getting them to your home, and then getting them through the process. And so if you advertise less than that, I mean, let's be real. These people are this is a business for everybody, so they may or may not, give better feedback to other homes. I mean, it's an ugly truth, but it happens. I mean, people will may or may not just speak highly of your home because of the commission. Say, we personally don't do that, but I can't say it's never happened. So we just, to be competitive in the compensation, we recommend 3%. So if they ask me, well, Trey, can we do 2%? Right? And then this is what I say personally. I say, I would love to be able to sell your home for 2%. This way, this could save you money if you pay less, but actually paying for less services will actually get you less money. So let me explain. So when you are paying 3%, you're paying, number one, all the professional fees, all of the, all our accesses, and all the professionals basically hold a license to be able to sell real estate. That's basically where 1% of the commission goes. Second percent goes to our high dollar marketing. Sometimes we even spend a little more than the 1% on the channels, the video, pictures, all the media that we do. Maybe it goes a little above the budget, but we're okay spending a little more so your home gets sold for top dollar. And the 3%, honestly, it gives I'm able to pay my team and my family to be able to sell the next home and to continue this business. So that's typically where the 3% goes. And but we can try to negotiate the buying side. It's just you won't be as competitive.
Yeah, and I love that, Trey, that you break the commission down in two parts, right? So it actually, it helps them understand how the commission works. And at the same time say, this is my marketing commission. We have to just decide how much, are we going to pay the agent bringing the buyers. And what I used to do, Josh, you asked the question, I used to print the MLS printouts broker full, which one had 2%, one had 2.5%, and one had 3%. And I would do the research, all the listings in the area, what is the average commission? And I would sell down with the seller and say, okay, the average commission right now, which is paid to the agents to bring the buyers, is 2%. Now let me show you these three listings. You see these three listings now. If you are the average agent, which sells about 3 to 4 sales a year, and you have the big buyer, which you know is going to buy this weekend, you get these 3 homes to show him. Which one are you going to show first? This one, which is paying you 3, this one, which is paying you 2, or which one is paying you 1%? And be honest. And usually themselves, they'll be like, yeah, I'll pick the one with 3%. So that's what would you pay? Let's pay 3% then. No brainer.
Yeah. And if they still fight for it, I just, when I explain it that way, it's like 1% goes to our professional fees, 1% goes to our market plan, which sometimes it goes over, though, so I have to take it out of this percent. But then this percent is to pay our team for their time to make sure we follow up all our systems or all that last percent, and that's how we feed our family.
Yeah, that's huge. We got a question from Monica. What are some other unique marketing strategies to market a listing? One listing agent informed me you are able to reverse engineer what other agents are looking for to help you find a seller buyer. So I know, Monica, this is depending on, they call it the reverse search, right, Trey? And I think that really depending on your local MLS. I know some MLSs, they have that option, and some MLSs, they don't.
So the way I answer this is, I actually, when they say, well, can you do a reverse search or all that, I basically don't answer that. And I say, listen, the reason I'm doing all this marketing, all the videos and all the neighbors is because I want to speak directly to the buyer. Nobody's going to sell your home with its fine details and its history like I will. So that's why I do all the media, I do all the videos, because I want to speak very highly of your home. And if I'm able to tell a story of why somebody should buy your home, I'm going to be the best person to do that. So that's why I have such a huge agent community, is because every one agent has anywhere from 5 to 10 qualified buyers ready to go at one time. So if I speak to them, it's like speaking to 10 people that are already qualified. So that's why I market to agents as opposed to just one person and one person and one person and one person. It's agents, and then that will usually hit a whole lot of qualified buyers.
Yeah.
Hope that answered your question.
Yeah, let us know, Monique, if that answered your question or if you meant something else. Josh, did
Yeah.
that answer a question for you about the commission? Was it on the listing presentation? Was it over the phone? The answer is good. Let us know. And we got 5 more minutes to go, so rapid fire before we're gonna release Trey of the call. Let's get some more information.
Yes.
I'm glad.
Great information.
Good, good, good.
Yep. Both great ideas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't.
I took a lot of notes myself over here, so
Awesome.
good stuff.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me. The biggest thing is everybody watching this is the storytelling, getting feedback from your past clients and neighbors and social media. Like, I don't know why agents are afraid to ask, like, what do you think I should do? And it's just opening it up to so many conversations. And this is how we get more listings and more listings, is because the seller wants to be, they don't want to just, because they feel like if I hire John, then John's going to do everything. But what if I don't agree with it? Most of the time, it's just because they don't understand what John's doing, or Trey, or whoever. So having them involved in the process actually benefit to you.
And I think communication is the key, especially if you need a price reduction, right? Or you need to extend a listing and you haven't been in touch with them for 3 months. Now you're calling them, it's going to be very difficult to have that conversation. But Trey, I mean, this was great. One thing what I got from it, 55 deals in year 3 and 122 homes, last year. Sky's the limit. I'm super excited to see, what this year is going to bring for you and the team.
Yep.
Super excited about it, but it's all about execution, and it's all about having as many conversations with people as you can. Let's keep it simple.
Sounds good. I'm emailing you the PDF of my tactics.
Perfect.
And anybody that wants it, there you go.
Yeah, guys, if you want the tactics from Trey, just put in the comment, get me the tactics, and we'll email it to you.
Yep. Sounds good, John. I appreciate you having me,
Sounds
brother.
good, guys. Anytime, my man. Peace out. Stay well, and keep on rocking. Let's go.
Yes. Good deal.